good day to you. The tragic earthquake in Turkey has raised many questions. How stable is Mother Earth? One may recall during the time of President Obama, British Petroleum did a deep oil drill in the Gulf of Mexico. The globe has its usable oil deposits, but inside the earth crust there are vast oil oceans and also water oceans. So that's part of the globe. Purpose of these oil oceans and water oceans inside the globe. Now this is not the superficial oil deposits or the oceans as we see them, but inside the globe, is so that when they are there, so that when the earth is rotating around its own axis and is also revolving around the sun in its annual turnaround, that the hectic velocity of the globe will be absorbed by the shock absorbers. These oil and water oceans inside the globe, that's what they do. So when the earth is rotating, you only get the ocean waves as part of the rotation. But when people thought they could get the deep oil deposits to be serviced for their needs, they did not know that oil was more dense. So when oil was drilled deep into the ocean bed, what came out was very dense oil. Very little of it came up, and the oil drilling yacht caught fire, many died. Besides that, the oil that came out being thick clogged the Florida, the ocean lines, the ocean bed from Gulf of Mexico to Florida. To this day, fishing is down and the life inside the ocean is down. And 8 months later, exactly on the opposite side of the Gulf of Mexico, on the globe, near the Japanese islands, there was a massive 9.2 Richter scale earthquake, obviously showing that what was done on the Gulf of Mexico ocean bed into the deep earth crust had affected the tectonic balance. So since then we have had numerous earthquakes, and this is not the only way man has interfered with the good design of the grand old designer, God. The ocean bed is full of vegetation, that is green plants, and it's in the ocean bed that most of Earth's oxygen is produced by converting carbon dioxide to oxygen. And the ocean bed vegetation receives the receives the photons from the lightning that goes through the ocean bed. So most of the carbon dioxide to oxygen conversion does not go on Earth's surface but inside the ocean bed. Ocean bed is also undulating, and there are mountains as higher than Everest inside the ocean bed. So the surface of the ocean bed is 4 times more than the surface of the earth as we see it. So this is how God has designed wisely the universe and our solar system, particularly our earth, for human existence. But we can see corals are down to 40%. So what are corals? Corals absorb the carbon dioxide and other acidic material and maintains the pH balance, acid-base balance of the waters, so that enzymes of animals and plants can function within their given range, because if the pH changes even slightly, enzymes don't function. Now when in the human body kidneys are down to 33%, we call it chronic kidney failure, chronic renal failure. Now the ocean corals are down to 40% because of the massive dumping of waste products, crude oil, refining that goes on in huge ocean liners, and dumping all the toxic products of the liners. And then every summer and every winter, at the end, when there's vast amounts of garments produced, not used, Before the next season, they are dumped in the ocean, and so much else is dumped in the ocean. So we are actually ruining the ocean. However, the global elite wants to use the carbon print issue as a global issue to control sovereign nations, to reduce their manufacture, reduce their animal husbandry, reduce their agriculture, saying that all that adds to carbon dioxide production, increases the carbon print, and they want to make legislation to reduce food production, animal husbandry in sovereign nations. This is the plan of the global elite. So I mention these things about just for you to understand how man-made theories are used to try control population, create food shortage. That's the way the global elite are planning. Now, they met in Davos, Switzerland, the WEF, and they have planned 40 smart cities. So what are smart cities? Everything is available online, and schooling is discouraged on site, so children don't go to school, parents don't go to work, even shopping is all available online, and the government provides 100 trips out of the city when wanted, but you can't go out of the city because traveling increases carbon print. So this is the arrangement or the experiment the global elite want to exercise over the sovereign nations. And just yesterday, WHO is recommending draconian laws against anyone who makes information, according to them fake information, digitally or otherwise, to expose their health programs that are injurious to health. So that's how that last thing was organized. You know what that thing is with the spike protein. And they are still working on reducing the immunity of people and causing such health disturbances to reduce the population. Now, this has all been foretold by the last sermon the Good Shepherd Jesus Christ did on a place called Mount of Olives. And very, very clearly he has stated this, that no imagination is necessary on this fact. This is how it is stated in Matthew chapter 24. These are the signs that are listed. There will be hearing of wars and rumors of wars. That don't be frightened, but these things must take place. But that is not yet the end. Nation rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and in various places there will be famines and earthquakes. So he particularly mentions famines and earthquakes. All these are merely the beginning of birth pangs. Then Luke 21:24 also refers to how there will be oceanic phenomena causing fear among the nations. Now in the last book of the Bible, the phenomena that will run over the world, megatrends that will take over the world, they are explained in the form of 4 horses. Let me read them. Horses have colors. First horse is white colored. I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went about conquering and to conquer. So this is a horse rider who has a bow that is shooting invisible arrows into the mindsets of people. So different kinds of philosophies have made God unnecessary, and it is moving towards a one world religion, one world philosophy, and anyone differing in their belief will be brought to book. This is the phenomenon of the white horse, is in the mental realm or intellectual realm of giving everybody one thing to believe in. That's the way the world is going. The second horse is a red horse, went out, and to him who sat on it was granted to take peace from the earth, and men would slay one another, and great sword was given. So it's a red horse, very easily identified with Marxism, communism, and sword, draconian politics. And we saw 7 years ago engineered migration in the Middle East, people losing their roots, family lines, their homeland, and caused to migrate, and in the Middle East many came over to Syria. So when people lose their boundaries and invade other countries, it is easy to control displaced, misplaced populations. So that is the end game that is going on. And when now again with an engineered phenomenon of people leaving their countries, so many are leaving Sri Lanka, but even people are leaving Chicago to get jobs in the Middle East because of the economic downturn. This is engineered so that many people are always in flux, and it is easy to control people who have lost their roots. So lots of young people leave their families looking for greener pastures, but pastures everywhere have become brown. So I'm just listing the sword politics of people being physically put to death, or adverse circumstances, hostile circumstances in nations causing people to lose their home ground. Now this is different from the immigration people chose on their own, looking for a better opportunity. This is coerced migration, people going helter-skelter without even proper jobs. The third horse is a little more complex. Come, I asked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. So what is this horse doing? Obviously, pair of scales refers to trade and commerce. Trade policies all over the world doing what? A quart of wheat for a denarius and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius do not damage the oil and the wine. So denarius was the pay of a day's wages, and day's wages can only get a little grain. So this is hyperinflation, grain shortage, and food shortage is artificially created all over the world. There's an egg shortage that is created, and 7 days ago 3.4 million poultry were chopped up, saying avian flu in US. And egg factories have burnt out suddenly. So there's a group of people who are making biological efforts to reduce food production and create an artificial food shortage. So in many places in the good book you find we are warned of famine and plagues to come. So one plague began with an engineered spike protein, and many others are up the pipeline with a world population whose immunity has been tampered with. That's what happened with the last one. The fourth one, here it is, the fourth horse. The fourth horse, I looked, and behold, a pale horse, ashen horse, death and Hades followed with him. Authority was given to him over 1/4 of the earth to kill with the sword, famine, pestilence, and by wild beasts. So this horse introduces demonic activity world over through the digital games, and it's paranormal activities. Kids get into it very early because of their addiction to the digital screen. This is how it goes. Now this is what the first book, I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. I didn't believe any of these things when I was entering the Colombo Medical Faculty. I had come first in the island in that entrance exam, and I continued to be batch top in the Colombo Medical Faculty in every exam. Just before entering Colombo Medical Faculty, I had an ideological change, because I did not believe that universe needed anybody. I thought matter is eternal. I had to rethink my thinking because it was obvious either an intelligent universe needed an intelligent designer, or it did itself on its own. Either matter and energy are eternal, or there is an author of all this. So just before I entered medical faculty, after a lot of research and a lot of argument, I decided this intelligent, the universe of pure thought, as Sir James Jean said, could not be by itself. Also, I found in the human genome there's so much information in the genes that information storage, information creation needs an intelligent mind. That the intelligent mind was before the physical setup. So I decided that intelligent mind is a necessity for rational thought. That's how I came to believe in God. Intelligent mind was absolutely necessary for this kind of information to begin the created order, to begin species. So when Darwin wrote in 1859 his Origin of Species, the entire book is not about origin of species but about survival of species. So and he was no scientist, he was a disillusioned Anglican priest. Disillusion came because many of his children died very young, and he was on a ship called Beagle. On that voyage he got down on the Galapagos Islands at the tip of South America, and he observed that there were finches with very strong beaks, and there was another stout, strong beaks. There was another group of finches on the mainland with long, tender beaks. Then he said this is evolution, because there was a famine time and only nuts were available. So the short, stout beaks of those finches helped them to survive. So he propounded survival of the fittest. Very true. It was survival of the fittest. Only thing that they were finches to begin with anyway. So probably the finches with tender long beaks perished, whereas the finches with the short stout beaks survived, eating the nuts, cracking them open. This is not evolution. Species remain the same. And to this date, there is not one evidence that one genus can change to another genus. There is no fossil evidence, there is no laboratory evidence. You can ask any scientist this, write down what I said, show them this clip. There is no evidence in the fossils or in laboratory research that one genus can change to another genus as evolution requires. Evolution requires that natural mutations will gain function. But nowhere in the world will a natural mutation gain function. You lose function. If you want to gain function, such as when someone is having a congenital abnormality of being born without an enzyme, and you want to do genetic engineering on the zygote, the first cell, then an intelligent mind has to get a gene from elsewhere, right gene from elsewhere, and with genetic engineering implant it so that you may overcome the genetic defect of absent enzyme. All this needs intelligent thought, intelligent design, and using existing complicated information in one gene to put it in the right place. This doesn't happen happenstance. So struggle for existence and survival of the fittest and natural selection will only select the stronger of the species to survive. Natural selection can't create species. Quote me, show this clip to any scientist and tell them to contest this. This is scientific fact. So I go to Genesis chapter 1. Earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the earth, deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the water. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. So the universe has a start, a moment that it began. So the Big Bang theory also assumes that universe had a beginning. Then what's the problem? It's a philosophy of Big Bang theory. Science says there's a beginning without an original author, and Christianity says there's a beginning and the cause of the beginning was the original author. So this origin of the universe is in the realm of metaphysical thought and not science. And this cannot be proved in a laboratory or by observation. So the debate is not scientific. Debate is a choice of what you decide to believe. I have come to believe that universe had a beginning, and that beginning has an author. He's an intelligent person, noble person, and he designed us in his image. This is where I want to leave you, and with a few more thoughts. God created light, and the gravity of the universe was part of that creation. So universe is really a network of gravity, or universe is like a blanket of gravity on which planets and other objects are suspended in gravity. And universe is expanding, and our solar system is the center from which universe is expanding. And when you calculate the increasing velocities in different directions, it points out from our solar system there is an expanding universe, proving the scientific fact that it began here for a particular purpose. We are not jetsam and flotsam. Our earth and our solar system had a particular purpose of God. So he created light, and then he created water, and water is the liquid form, and in our atmosphere, he created atmosphere, he created water. Our atmosphere has the right percentage of oxygen and nitrogen. If there's more oxygen, there will be explosion all the time. And the nitrogen and oxygen come together with the lightning to produce nitrous oxide, which when dissolved in water gives us the nitrates that are needed for the plants. So you can see it over a long period with great design and wisdom, everything has been designed by a wise creator. It's not ad hoc, it's not on its own. I hope these facts are clear to you to think through about the origin of the universe. The second thing is that this creator came in human form, and that is Jesus Christ. Today I'm not going to do that study. I can send you a clip on that study. If you would please send me a WhatsApp to 074 211 5011. 074 211 5011. If you are from overseas, please make it plus 94 74 211 5011. Also, my app is available to download free of charge. Golden Nuggets, Dr. Lalith Mendis, Golden Nuggets. You can download it from App Store or Google. Next point that is in the line of thought that should be discussed is, did this creator come in the form of a human being? And whether the claims of Jesus Christ that he is that I am, whether those claims are true. Other point to clarify is, was there a historic person called Jesus Christ? Is there evidence outside the Christian record that there was a person called Jesus Christ? So very briefly, there is evidence that there was a person called Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity, and then having got that historic textual archaeological evidence, then you have to examine his claims, whether they are self-contradictory or not, that he was this creator God come in human form. So that is the logical sequence that I investigated in 1971, just before I got into the medical faculty. And in Colombo Medical Faculty, I was batched up in every exam. I stayed this credibility, because many people think only fools believe in a creator or God. That science has disproved everything. Science has not disproved everything. All the pioneer scientists of the 19th century who discovered the foundations of science believed in a created order, design order, and laws of science they thought were discoverable because out of an intelligent mind came the laws of science, not out of chaos, not random, and another intelligent mind, such as the human mind, can discover them and put them to good use. So Lord Kelvin, Robert Boyle, Michael Faraday, Louis Pasteur, they were all scientists of pioneer scientists responsible for many innovations. They believed in a creator, a wisely designed world, and a benevolent creator. Thank you for listening. This is a little presentation for a Saturday afternoon from my country.